Hi, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio. Today, I just wanted to ask, are you feeling overwhelmed? A lot of people are this time of year. As fall gets going, school gets back in, a lot of businesses are picking up pace, and we're kind of heading towards the inevitable end of the year, which, I won't be that person to count down to things coming or anything, but it builds this overwhelmed sensation that we go through. There's several people that have told me this week that Monday morning was just the hardest to wake up and get going and get to work because they knew what was coming. They feel overwhelmed with the load that they have, and they're not quite sure how to handle it. We've got other people, stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home grandparents that feel overwhelmed as well. There's just a lot going on, and sometimes there's a lot of things that we can control in life, but there's also a lot of things that we can't. So we have to sometimes kind of sit back and figure out what can we control, what do we have control over, and how can we deal with the other part that we don't have control over, because obviously we can't change those things, but there are some things that we can change. And one of the things that we can do is start to actually write down our thoughts and our to-do list, if you will, or a task list, because we tend to hold that in our head, and the more that you hold that in your head, the more overwhelmed you become, because that list can grow and grow and grow, and your brain can't really hold on to how big it is or what all needs to be done. But whenever you physically write it down on a piece of paper, you're able to then solidify that list, and obviously you can add things to it, and if you're like me, you constantly do, but at least then you've got a way to see exactly what's in front of you, what has to be done, and be able to mark it off step by step as you complete each task. So that's one way to kind of help the overwhelming sensation and find a little more order in your life's chaos. So another way is to plan ahead, obviously, and some people, the cliche saying is if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And so, planning ahead, whether that be for your lunches at work, or whether it's planning out when your exercise is going to be, planning how you're going to get children from one activity to another, that overwhelming sensation that we experience a lot of times comes from the fact that we kind of live in chaos. We don't really take the time to plan out those things and have it prepared in our mind or physically before the time comes for that. And so by kind of being a procrastinator and waiting until the last minute, or not planning at all and just kind of waiting to see what happens, kind of flying by the seat of your pants type of situation, then you tend to have more of that overwhelming sensation, more of that anxiety that goes along with it, and troubles just kind of getting things to fall in the place that you want them to fall. So if you'll take the time to plan ahead, take the time to write it out, you'll find that there's a significant decrease in the amount of stress and the amount of anxiety and the amount of chaos that you feel in your life that causes that overwhelmed sensation. So kind of an interesting statistic, not a fun fact by any means, but an interesting one, is that most people who have heart attacks actually suffer from those on Sundays and Mondays due to the fact that they're looking ahead to the week ahead. They feel overwhelmed by that week, and they start to let the stress of that build up and build up. So if you'll take the time to kind of plan it out, that's going to help that. Now, another way to reduce that stress and that sensation of being overwhelmed is to really take some downtime. Spend at least 5 to 10 minutes a day just on you, so that you can really focus on being able to relax, being able to de-stress, and whatever that means. Maybe it's going for a walk out in the sunshine, the fresh air. Maybe it's getting in an Epsom salt bath. Maybe it's just drinking a cup of hot tea, or spending some time with some loved ones and just being able to brush off the day and let it go. But brushing off the day isn't enough. Again, if you don't plan for the next day, then that sensation comes right back. So if you are able to kind of take the last 30 minutes of your day and really plan out the next day and what all needs to be done, at least write down 3 big things that you've got to accomplish that next day so that you can make sure and get those done, and then go home and relax and de-stress, then the next day will start to be a little less overwhelming, and the days following as you do that more and more. So really taking the time for you. So where does exercise fall in all of this? Well, if you are super overwhelmed, you're super stressed, or you're suffering from anxiety and those things, yes, exercise can help, but doing too much or too intensive exercise can actually make the problem worse. So if you're one of those people who suffers from anxiety and feels overwhelmed more often than they should, and you're going in and doing high intensity interval training all the time, or doing really rapid circuit training or anything like that, a lot of times that actually is working backwards for your goals and working backwards for your health, because your body can't handle that much stress. Now, exercise is considered stress, but it's a good stress. But bad stress and good stress, the body doesn't know the difference. It just feels stress. So what we've got to do is really balance that out and make sure that our workouts are not too intense, but they're intense enough. So they're moving in the right direction. So maybe if you've had a really overwhelming week, maybe a good yoga or Pilates class would be a better idea, or that type of workout would be a better idea for you than, say, another HIIT training class or another cycling class even. Something that gets your body to relax on the inside as well as the outside. So a lot of times our brain says, oh, I feel great, but the body is still so tense and overwhelmed, it doesn't have a way to relax. So really look into that with your exercise. Find out if what you're doing is appropriate for your stress levels. Again, something that we work with our clients on as we customize their programs to their needs, creating something that's just unique enough for them, and really taking their whole body and their whole lifestyle into consideration with our programming as we do that. So if that's something that you'd be interested in hearing more about or finding out if that would be a good fit for you, feel free to give us a call, 806-322-3188. We'd be happy to get you set up with a consultation. I also want to let you know that the last week of August, beginning August 25th, the last week of September, beginning September 25th, we're already out of August, is going to be Bring a Friend Week. And so if you know somebody here at the studio that's already a member, feel free to give them a call and say, hey, I want to come with you as a friend. We'll be accepting, people coming in during sessions, whether it's private sessions, semi-private, or small group training. We'd love to have you join us and experience what it is that we offer. So again, feel free to give us a call if you'd like, but I hope that you have a great day, great evening, and that you find a little you time tonight to de-stress and take away some of that overwhelming sensation as you start to find order in the chaos.